Um, UFC 322 just went down, and this is my immediate reaction to that event. We're gonna start on the prelims, and then we'll make our way to the main card. Over Overall, I went okay for picks, but yeah, let's just get this started. The first fight was Vishlev Borishev. It is not UFC caliber, and I just don't think he's ready to. I don't think he's UFC caliber. Fight losing streak, 5 fight losing streak. I think getting cut. I don't think there's any other way to put it. There's no one else to put him against. Matthias Camilo's pretty low. So yeah, it was a pretty grindy ground game, and Camilo was, yeah, Camilo just grinded him on the ground, and yeah, good win for Camilo. Um, See him maybe, I don't know, against a Jamie Malaki or someone a little further up. But yeah, I'll talk about in another video who I think these guys should go against. The next fight, Sisakayev, it was a nasty, nasty knock. Beatable. This is like McConaughey was doing some good work on the feet. I thought, I thought it was 1-1 going into the third. I thought he I was getting hit a lot, and for a guy that was saying he's going to be the next champ, you can't be getting hit like that. Against like big hitters like Joe Pfeiffer or a Beta Godier. But he got the chin of Eric McConaughey, and it was a good win for Susakai. I'd still like to see McConaughey fight one, at least another, lower contender. And for Susakai, I guess he gets to go up a little bit more. Maybe a Bush Magomedov, someone around that caliber. Yeah, we'll go up. This is pretty. I picked this pretty right. I thought she was just a step behind, and she got grinded out on the ground as well. Fatima Klein did throw some nice stuff, but she did struggle. And yeah, there's really not much to this fight. I say if we could give one more fight for Angela Hill, I think she should retire. But one more like Legends fight would be nice for Hill, and for Fatima Klein, I guess she gets to be a ranked fighter, and she can fight someone either up the rankings or around her rankings. So yeah, good win, fine. And the next fight, he was copping some good shots, but he was getting better and better as the fight went on. His grappling was all there. Just he held Mariscal down. He was throwing some nice ground strikes, and he nearly got the finish a few the submission. I think Shepe tried his best to get up, but when you have a grappler like down, like it's really hard to do that, man. So good on Pat Sabatini. Shepe, he's still a top contender. He was still hitting Pat with some really heavy stuff. I'd like to see him fight just a little bit further. I think it's a ranked guy next, honestly. And the next fight, as a first round TKO knockout, but Kyle Dorcas, I think he went out there to prove a point, but the point really isn't that big. Like, you're beating Gerald Meerschaert. Gerald Meerschaert, like, he's getting cut from the UFC. I think he retired by the looks of it. He put his gloves down. I didn't see that bit, but Kyle Dorcas looked impressive, and I guess we could get him up things a little bit, put him against fringe top 20, and he has to retire. He's getting cut either way, and yeah, he's lost his last 4 by finish, so I don't see a point of him sticking around. And onto the you suggest someone with the touch of death, and I heard this fight was canned for Cody Haddon. Then I was like, oh yeah, they got a guy that they can just feed Malcolm Wellmaker, and I was like, he's gonna feed this man because he legitimately gave Malcolm Wellmaker some problems on the feet. He was piecing him up. He nearly finished him a few times. Wellmaker, he's still an up and comer. Like, this killed me when I saw him lose. Ethan Ewing's a real fighter, man. So, good win for Ewing. I think we got to give him up. Somebody in fringe top 20. And for Malcolm Wellmaker, I think he'd keep him around the level. He's just got to get better. He's just got to get his cardio a bit better. Oh. I think Ethan should fringe top 20 guy. And for Malcolm Wellmaker, I'd like him against an Adrian Yanez. He was cancelled recently. I think that's a good fight. Adrian Yanez is a bit of a win-loss fighter in the bantamweight division. Time to go up. Aaron Blanchfield versus Cortez. This was a contender fight, even though I don't think anyone's Valentina. I definitely thought Tracy Cortez was doing better in the striking. She looked cleaner. She was getting cleaner shots than Aaron, but Aaron eventually got that neck, takedown, which was very weird. And then Blanchfield got the neck of Tracy Cortez and choked her out. So yeah, I guess Aaron is the next title contender. I don't know what we do with Tracy Cortez, but she'll get another fight up in the rankings. And for Blanchfield, I think she's just going to get mogged by a bloody... Yeah. It was a pretty fun fight for women's MMA. But yeah, the next fight is Roman Kopylov and G-Rod. Russian Chase Hooper. And Brazilian Barack Obama, BBB. This is how I expected to go. Gregory Rodriguez was just ahead of it the whole time. I don't think this fight should have been made for that reason. G-Rod's just a way better fighter. There was a few times where Roman caught him. There was actually one moment where he caught him real bad, but Roman go on the tank. I would love to see G-Rod fight someone in the top 15 again. Marvin Vittori, maybe even a Roman Dolidze. That'd be a good fight. Did I say G-Rod? Yep. Roman, I think he should fight Cam Roston in Sydney. He takes heaps of damage. He needs to fight down. He can't find some to fight down. He's lost his up in dominant fashion. So it was a good fight. Love to see it. And yeah. It was an impressive performance by him. He did exactly what he needed to do. He impressed the fans with a go. He's improved his striking properly against a Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu. I think that's exactly what he needed to do. And it was so for Bo Nickel, I think fringe top 20, maybe an Iron Turtle. I think it's a bit of a harder opponent, or even an Ikram Alice. That's even higher level opponent, but it's an equal. It's an opponent to get into the top 15. So yeah, I like that fight for Bo Nickel. For Rodolfo, yeah, we'll see. He just looked very unimpressive and looked very... But yeah, I never thought he was going to go any good. He got outdone by Petrova. Bo Nickel's a way better everything. So yeah. On to the main event. This is the beginning of the end. But Benoit Saint Denis, man, with 20 seconds. And I said that. I said Benoit got that dog about him, that scrappiness, and he used that to get the knockout against Benil. A lot of people thought that was a stoppage. I didn't think so. Benil drew real bad, so it's a good stoppage. And for Bun, he has to fight someone like even further up, I reckon. I think he fights Paddy. I think that's a good title eliminator bout. Yeah, I think that's a great fight. And for Benil, I think it's time to hang it up. You know, he could fight some of the lower part of the lightweight division, but point. Yeah, and here we go. Edwards versus Prates. Leon was looking so good. Man, like, you know, he was putting a few combos together. He was getting into grappling, but he let Carlos get into his head, man. And I think that's one of Leon's worst things about him. He lets people get into his head, and when people get into his head, he can't perform how he wants to perform. And it really is a problem for Leon Edwards, man. He's on a 3-fight losing streak. I guess we're gonna have to. I think we're gonna have. He has to go real down the rankings. He's gonna be a while, but I could definitely see a Bonfim, maybe even a Joaquin Buckley could be a good fight. But yeah, there's just there's as much as I want to see him fight for a title. It's Islam. I think he needs one more fight, and I'll say in another video what fight that is. Yeah, it was really Leon's head by just talking to him, and yeah, he got that one-shot KO. Leon's chin, to be honest, but yeah. Next fight, god damn, I got so much main card, like so much of the main card wrong. It was crazy. Sean Brady versus Michael Morales. Not off. He just didn't look like he went to the game plan. He tried to strike with Michael Morales, who was obviously going to be a better striker. That was always going to be the case. And Michael Morales, man, he fucking looks super good tonight. Like, you just like took the title shot from Sean Brady, which insane. And I think yeah, Michael Morales might be fighting for the welterweight belt in his next fight, which is insane, which is very interesting. You know, it's terrible for Sean. I've already got a matchup for him. Yeah, excuse me. I did have another matchup in mind for Sean Brady, but you know, I've got to figure that out in the other video. Morales, I guess he gets the title shot. The next fight, the co-main, man, who's going to beat Valentina? No one, I think, can beat Valentina Shevchenko at this point. I thought she was just downhill. I thought she wasn't going to do as well as she has. She just hasn't looked as good. And she just looked imposing. She was too strong, too accurate, she just too good everywhere, and she was so big for. But Zhang Weili, I think Zhang's still one of the best women fighters in the world. I think she goes back down, she beats Mackenzie Dern, and she stays at that belt. And you know, she can maybe get another try later down the line. I don't think it can be against Valentina. Valentina is just too good. She is the women's go, I think. You know. But yeah, great performance for Valentina Shevchenko and for a nice try by Weili. And yeah, and like people were like this was unentertaining. This was entertaining, you know. Weili did try to come in, and Valentina hurt her a few times. So yeah. Oh, God. Cry, bro. Not cry. I'm being dramatic. This is sad though. Like, I don't care what anyone says. This was the best. But JDM just had nothing for his. He had nothing for him. I think there was just nothing that he could have done, that JDM could have done. And like they said, oh, you know, he was doing this, he was doing that. But there was like, even his team was like, don't stay in half guard, don't do this, don't do that. And he was doing all the things that Islam wanted him to do. And he didn't scramble like Volk. And I was very surprised that he didn't take the information that Volk gave him. Maybe Islam was just too imposing, but yeah, you got to give credit to Islam. I don't know who's going to beat Islam either. And for Jack, you know, he's not going to get a match at all. I think he's obviously fight a top contender again. But I'll make a video. All the was pretty good. I got a lot, 90% of the main card wrong. Like, let's see. Right. So, let's just skip down here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. I got 9 out of. I got 9 right, 5 wrong. That's not terrible. That's pretty good for a card, which is really hard to pick. Like all the fights that were really hard to pick, I got wrong. You know, and I was a little biased on the JDM side, but yeah, 2022 was a pretty fun night. Fun night of fights. The co-main and main went barn burners, but you know, I hope you enjoyed the video and I hope you subscribe. Yeah, man, I'm gonna split the matchmaking video into a different one, but yeah, I'll see you all later.